In today's video, I want to show you a really easy way to add in plugs and curves just like you see right here. Let's get started. So we're just going to start with a basic cylinder. I'm going to give this cylinder a couple more segments, 64. Just move this up and then shade this auto smooth. Now, the first thing I want to do is duplicate this. We can just move this somewhere. It doesn't really matter where. And I'm going to connect a curve from this top face here to this face over here. Now, there's plugins for this, but you can just do this in normal Blender. We're just going to take a path curve, move this over here somewhere, and you can just apply the same concept if like the rotation's different. And essentially what I want to do here is go into edit mode on this curve, and I want to snap this curve right to the middle of the face. Now, there's not really a point to snap this to right now, so what you can actually do is select this face and then search for poke in the F3 menu. You can also just press Control F and then go to poke faces. This will create a temporary vertex right here in the middle. So I'm just going to go up here to the vertex snap, and then on the curve, all we really need to do is snap this endpoint by holding Control right to that middle vertex. And we're going to do the same exact thing over here. Control F, poke faces, take the end of this curve, and then just snap it there. And now you can either dissolve out some of the segments or, give it a bit of variation, move this around. Maybe you could move this one down. This one you could technically dissolve out, doesn't really matter that much. And then what I want to do here is go into the curve menu under geometry and then just increase the extrusion here. And we're going to make sure this is a higher resolution because right now it's just flat. And I actually think I'm on the wrong setting. It should be under bevel right here under depth. Let's put this back to 0, 0. It's very easy to confuse these two menus, so make sure you're under bevel. We're going to give this just a decent depth here. And if you want this to be a little bit more flat, we can either flatten this after we turn it into a mesh, or we can simply snap this point right on top of this point, and that should basically make it like directly 90 degrees into the face there. Same with this one. You could kind of do the same thing like that. There we go. Now at this point, what I want to do is convert this with Control A into a mesh. This is going to convert it into like actual real geometry here. Now the way I add the little connection points is very simple. There's a bunch of different ways to do it. My preferred way is to simply alt click one of these loops of faces here, duplicate it with Shift D, right click, and then P to separate it by selection. And then all we need to do here is take that duplicate and then just add a solidify modifier. We can increase the thickness here out in this direction, okay? Now the shading's a bit weird, that's fine. All we need to do here is right click to shade auto smooth. Now this is a little bit low resolution. I'm going to apply the solidify. This is a little bit low resolution, so a very easy way to increase the resolution is just by adding in a sub D with Control 1 or Control 2. And then since we're using sub D, we can simply alt click these faces here, just like that. And we can go into the end panel and under item, mean crease all the way up to 1. Same for the bottom here. We can just increase the mean crease there and then maybe just move that face down just a little bit and then apply that sub D. This is going to give us a nice higher resolution cylinder, and we can dissolve out these two edges right here. Very simple. Now you can do the same exact thing up here, but if you want to save a bit of time, check this out. We can duplicate this piece and then we can simply match it to the rotation of this one. Now check this out. What I'm going to do, just move this over so you can see it. I'm going to go into vertex snap, select this vertex right here, and then Shift S to move the cursor to that point. And then all we need to do is select this, shift click on this, and then Control C, copy rotation, just like that. And then we're going to also move this point right there. So Shift S, selection to cursor. And if that's not working, you just need to reset your origin point, right click, set origin to the geometry. So it's back there in the middle. And then Shift S, selection to cursor. Now you're going to see down here, looks like that was just the bottom piece. I can simply press S, Z, Z, -1 just to flip that. And that should give us a pretty decent result. And we can always press G, Z, Z to move that down a bit if we want to. Now, if your Control C menu doesn't pop up, you have to actually enable that here under Get Extensions. Just search for Copy and turn on the Copy Attributes menu, and that should enable that menu for you. And now what I want to do is go into Edit mode for this curve, select everything with A, and then we're just going to do Alt S to just scale that in just a little bit. There's a bit of a gap here, kind of on the inside. Now, most people would kind of stop here, but what I prefer to do personally is union these two together. So we can simply run a union boolean, however you want to do that. We can hide that piece, and now we can simply apply that boolean modifier, and we should have access here to the geometry in this. Now, I don't technically need, all these faces here on the top, so I can just select one, Shift G, coplanar, then just press F to fill that. If that doesn't work, just run a limited dissolve. And you're still going to need 2 connection points on a boolean, so that's normal. We can leave that alone. As a matter of fact, let's merge that one right there, and then just make sure this is merged as well, which it isn't, so I just need to zoom in a little bit. Or you can just go to merge by distance and just hold shift and slightly increase that. There we go. And that should also remove like any junk or any stray vertices. Now what I'm going to do here is Alt Shift click these edges here essentially, and if you still have some stray geometry, just select the stray vertex, Shift G, amount of adjacent faces. I don't think there's any more. We can just Control X and dissolve that out. And then if we just Alt Shift click all these edges, we can simply run a bevel, just like that. That's going to give us a very nice fusion between the two objects. And again, same idea, you could do this separately here if you wanted like a different size or whatever, but if you just want to copy the same one, I personally think it's easier to duplicate this, and then what we can do is shift click on this one, Control C to copy the rotation, just like that, and then Shift S selection to cursor. We can delete this one out, and then just move this one up on the local Z, G, Z, Z, and then S, Z, Z, -1 to flip it, and then we can just slightly, align that. We can actually delete this piece out as well. That's if you want to just copy the same exact size or whatever. Very easy way to do that. Just going to save you a bit of time. Now at this point, what I want to do is maybe just run a small chamfer here. You could also do the same thing on this one, just a small chamfer up here, just to make it look a bit better. And then I'm just going to add a small bevel modifier right here to the top. And if you want, you can also add in a weighted normal modifier just to clean up the shading. And there you go. And that is a very simple way to create details just like this, where you kind of have like a pipe connecting to these two endpoints. And you can use this in basically any hard surface modeling situation. Now what I think I'll do, just as a little bit of a bonus, is I'll just hop in here and maybe give this some, materials on it. So let's just enable an HDRI. I'm using Materialworks for this, which should be in the description somewhere. Then I'm just going to give this one here maybe a dotted steel net material. Just wait for that to load in. And then we can actually go in and we can make the alpha value set to 0. And this will give us these really clean holes in the top. Now for these type of textures, you want to use a seam instead of procedural. So I'm just going to go here, make sure the scale is applied. I'll just mark a seam here on the bottom where we can't see it. And then just simply unwrap angle based is fine. And if you want to adjust the size, you can always go in here to transform, put this to like 7 or something. And now you have like this pretty cool looking pipe texture. And there you go. That is how you would create something very simple like this. Now, if you want to learn more tricks like this, or you just want to learn our entire hard surface modeling workflow, grab our accelerator program. It is linked in the bottom of this, or the top of the description rather. This is our full training program for Blender. You're going to learn every single thing you need to know about hard surface modeling in about 2 weeks of time, with just 30 to 60 minutes per day. You can see all the student results on the screen right here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.